Cain A. Night here, and yeah, I'll own it, I jumped the gun like a complete dumbass. Earlier this week, I thought Goldberg was marching down to Raw, ready to spear Gunther out of his boots and stop the ring general from snatching the World Heavyweight Championship from Jey Uso. But nope, not even a whisper of Goldberg. The pyro never hit, the music never dropped. Gunther crushed USO, stood tall, and walked out with the gold draped over his shoulder. So just like that, Jey Uso's short and strange world title reign is already over. Not even 60 days. Just 2 defenses. One of them, a blink and you miss it match against Logan Paul on Saturday night's main event. The other, a disqualification finish on Raw that left everyone groaning. No yeet, no glory. Just a flat end to what could have been a breakout solo run. It's honestly baffling. Naturally, that got me wondering, what in the actual hell is WWE thinking here? Well, according to the ever-reliable Dave Meltzer over at the Wrestling Observer, there's a method to the madness. Or at least, a plan. It turns out Triple H, Paul Levesque, made a very specific call. Gunther was always slated to face Goldberg in what's being billed as Goldberg's retirement match. That match is set for July 12 on Saturday night's main event. And here's the kicker, it's airing on NBC, not Netflix. Network TV. Free to the masses. And it just so happens to be the same day as AEW's All In Texas. Yep, we're getting Gunther vs. Goldberg, with the world title on the line, on a Saturday night showdown set to go head-to-head with AEW's big stadium show. That's the play. WWE is loading the gun for a direct shot at Tony Khan's biggest event of the summer. Let that sink in. This wasn't a creative fluke. It's a calculated move in the latest round of the ongoing wrestling war between WWE and AEW. Gunther holding the world title heading into Goldberg's last match. That's leverage. That's bait for viewers who might be flipping the channel, wondering if they should tune into network TV or shell out for AEW's pay-per-view. But here's where things get real murky for me. John Cena is currently running an entirely different storyline, his final ride, his last run, his desperate chase to retire as a champion. Cena wants to go out with the WWE Championship around his waist. And yet, just 1 month earlier, we're giving Goldberg a retirement match, for a different world title. How does that not cannibalize Cena's arc? If Goldberg somehow wins, he retires as champion. That would immediately undercut Cena's whole, last real champion, narrative. But if Goldberg loses to Gunther, then what was the point of ending Jey Uso's reign prematurely just to feed him to the Hall of Famer? Are we really building a marquee title match around someone we know isn't staying? Honestly, this whole thing feels like a convoluted mess designed to hurt AEW more than it is to help WWE. And if that's really the goal, undermining AEW on July 12, why not go for the biggest dream match available? Why not do Goldberg vs. Cena? 2 legends. 2 icons. 1 final clash. You could still put a title on the line if you wanted. That match would draw eyes, dominate headlines, and absolutely stomp over anything AEW could put together for All In Texas. Instead, we're getting Gunther vs. Goldberg, a match with potential, sure, but it's not exactly generational. It's not Cena vs. Rock. It's not even Lesnar vs. Lashley. Now, don't get me wrong. Gunther is a beast. He's earned every accolade he's got. His Intercontinental title run was historic, and putting the world title on him now makes sense, eventually. But doing it here, in a rush, just to prop up Goldberg's last ride. That's a decision I can't wrap my head around. Jey Uso deserved better. He scratched and clawed his way out of Roman's shadow. He delivered incredible matches all year. The crowd was finally behind him, not just as main event Jey, but as a legitimate single star. And just like that, his reign ends not for story purposes, not for progression, but for promotion. There's a big difference between building stars and booking for TV ratings. Right now, it feels like WWE is doing the latter. Let's also not forget, NBC isn't exactly a wrestling hotbed these days. Network TV matters, sure. Exposure counts. But sacrificing months of character work, momentum, and potential, just to throw a title on a show that'll air once and be forgotten by next week's Raw. That's a steep price to pay. This all smacks of desperation. WWE could have built Gunther as the next dominant world champion over time, organically. He didn't need to squash Jey Uso in a random Raw main event. He didn't need to walk into a Goldberg match with the title just for the sake of maximizing eyeballs. And if Goldberg's truly done after this, if July 12th really is the end of the line, then why is the world title even part of the equation? It cheapens everything. The title should be sacred. It should be earned, fought for, defended with pride, not passed around like a ratings ploy. Goldberg's last match should be about legacy. About closing the chapter on a Hall of Fame career. You don't need a championship to sell that match. You need emotion. You need history. You need stakes that matter. Instead, we get a hotshot booking decision, a neutered title reign, and a confusing overlap with Cena's final ride story. If WWE really wanted to make this special, they'd find a way to tie all the pieces together. Cena, Goldberg, Gunther, Jey. Tell a coherent story. Make the audience care. Don't just throw darts at a board and hope one of them lands on a ratings spike. Right now, it feels like Jey Uso was just a sacrificial lamb. Logan Paul got a rushed match. Gunther got a rushed title win. Goldberg gets a rushed title shot. And Cena's probably watching all of this with raised eyebrows, wondering how much of his last stand just got stolen out from under him. There's still time to course correct. There's still time to tell a better story. But as it stands today, this feels like a misfire. A calculated, strategic, ratings-driven misfire that undermines its own talent for the sake of a one-night spectacle.